Howdy, howdy, hey. Back at it again with another YouTube upload. Sorry it's been a little while since the last one's come out. Been a little bit busy, doing some real life stuff, but we're back in action. We're back, and today we got an interesting one. We got 2026 NBA predictions by none other than me. So shout out me for that. I just went over the past couple hours. I just made a few predictions over the season, awards, stuff like that, and I'm sharing it with you all now. So let me get into it. First up, you cannot forget about the NBA Cup. Shout out the NBA Cup. Brand new edition, I believe in 2023. Lakers won it the inaugural season. Then I believe it was Milwaukee, yes, over my Oklahoma City Thunder, if I'm correct. But the NBA Cup this year, it'll be interesting. Very, very interesting because there's so many teams with question marks, especially in the Eastern Conference. But let's start off in the West. I think the Thunder got a bit of an easy draw here. What was that? Anyways, we'll start off in the West. I think the Thunder got a bit of an easy draw here with the Jazz, the Suns, the Kings. The Wolves will be the only tough one. But I think we go 3-1 in here. We lose to the Wolves probably, and we win it. Suns 3-1. I think they'll make it the wild card spot. I don't know. I know people aren't high on the Suns. I'm not really that high on them in the regular season either, but Devin Booker, Jalen Green making a little bit of a magical run, get an upset win over the Wolves, beat the Jazz and the Kings. Why not? The Timberwolves I have them going 2-2, Jazz 1-3, Kings 1-3. In the Western B division, I have the Grizzlies going 4-0. I'm not high on the Grizzlies, but I think the Grizzlies can start a bit of positive momentum, go undefeated in the NBA Cup, beat the Pelicans, beat the Clippers, beat the Lakers, and beat the Mavericks without Kyrie at the beginning of the year. They could do something. I don't know. Pelicans, I have them second at 2-2. The rest of the division is just like intermingling between who loses between whom. Pelicans, I think I had them winning over the Mavericks earlier in the year and the Clippers or something like that. Clippers, I have 2-2. Shout out to them for getting Bradley Beal. They got the unction over there. They got Bradley Beal, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Zubac, John Collins. They're old. They are really, really, and Nick Batum. Their average age might legit be 34. So if they don't win it this year, not just the NBA Cup, but the playoffs, they might be in a little bit of trouble, I'll be honest. Lakers, I have a 1-3. I think LeBron falls off a little bit more than people expect this year, and Luka has to try to carry. And this is probably the second toughest because I just realized what the West seed looked like. But I don't know. I think the Lakers they need a bit more front court help. They probably need to ship off Austin Reeves to get more defensive presence. Losing DFS was rough as a 3-and-D wing because that's kind of what they need right now. I don't know. And then the Mavericks, I have them at 1-3. I think a lot of people are overestimating the Mavericks, at least to start the year. Like Cooper Flag's good, but it's gonna be Cooper Flag, it's gonna be Anthony Davis, and that's it. Not saying that's bad, but you gotta remember this Mavericks team was essentially built around Luka Doncic, and now you took him out. You're taking out Kyrie Irving for the first half of the year, at least until the All-Star break. Derek Lively hasn't been playing the same since Luka's been gone. I just don't know how I feel about the Mavs, at least without Kyrie. When Kyrie comes back, that'll be a nice team, but right now they got D'Lo starting at the one. I don't know about that. But West C, I have the Nuggets winning that one. The Spurs also went 3-1, but I think their quality of wins will probably be less in the point differential margin, with teams like the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Blazers that are on the come up. But yeah, I have the Nuggets at 3-1. Made a lot of offseason moves. They got guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, who threatened to go back to Greece, but he's going to play out his contract now. And the Nuggets needed a big man to back up Jokic that was not DeAndre Jordan, turning 40 years old. So Jonas Valanciunas, I really like that move for them. Shout out the Nuggets. They also got Cam Johnson for MPJ. I like that for them. Stretch big. I wanted Cam Johnson on the Thunder as a stretch big, but he'll have to do in Denver. They go 3-1. The Spurs, I think the Spurs have a pretty good year, and they go 3-1 here. They don't make the NBA Cup playoff, the 14 playoff, but still 3-1. Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox. We get to see Dylan Harper, the son of Ron Harper, play. Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes. No Chris Paul. But yeah, that's going to be a really fun team to watch, especially with Mitch Johnson, him coaching the team. I believe he's an associate head coach of someone else. I can't remember, but that's going to be interesting. Blazers, I have it 2-2. I don't know. I feel like the NBA Cup is just there's opportunity for wackiness to happen, and the Warriors and Rockets going 1-3, Jimmy and Steph, Katie and Amen and Shengun going 1-3. That'd be crazy. But the Blazers 2-2. They got Drew Holiday for Anthony Simons. They lost that trade, very much so, especially for a young team. But if Drew Holiday decides he wants to play and he wants to play some good basketball, he's a defensive menace. And pairing him alongside Denny Avdia, that might be tough. That might be a crazy team. And you got an NBA vet, Chauncey Billups, coaching up over there too. And you got Shaden Sharp and Tumani Kamara, DPOY potentially. Probably not, but Blazers seem fun. They don't make the NBA Cup playoff though. In the East A, with the Raptors, Hawks, Cavs, Wizards, Pacers, I have the Raptors going undefeated here, and I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I feel like the Raptors, they can take care of the Pacers. That's light work. It's just as I was saying for the West Sea, wacky stuff can happen, and this is just one of those things where it's like Darko, head coach of the Raptors, Brandon Ingram coming in. They're gonna have a squad. They're gonna have a starting five. I don't know how I feel about their depth off the bench, but that starting five is pretty good. And I think any day of the week they can get the job done. So give me the Raptors 4-0. Pacers 3-1. They just have a lot of agile, fast guys. They have guys that are gonna play hard every single day. And in an NBA Cup, I think they'll just try harder compared to these other teams. Like the Wizards, they're gonna go 0-4. They're not gonna be doing anything. Pacers kind of owned the Cavs number last year. I know that's with Miles Turner and Tyrese. But I think in a best of one, they can maybe get the best of them. And the Hawks, they probably lose to the Hawks. That's probably their only loss. But 3-1. I have the Hawks at 2-2. Hawks have not seen any real playoff minutes since the Trae Young 2021 conference finals run, where Ben Simmons ruined his career by passing of that open layup. They get a couple of wins here against the Wizards and against the Pacers, but nothing crazy. Cavs 1-3. I don't know. I just feel like they won't do good in the NBA Cup. I can't explain it. They'll beat the Wizards though, and I have the Wizards going 0-4. They can't get a win. East B. I have the Magic winning this division at 3-1, and the Magic made a lot of moves in the offseason, right? They pick up Desmond Bain for 4 first. They drafted Jace Richardson as a backup guard. This is going to be a really fun Magic team. They underperformed last year, but in such a weak Eastern Conference and such a weak East, they can maybe make a top three push, top two push. And their line on Vegas, their win total line is about 51.5, which is crazy high. But they have the potential to do it. I mean, Vegas wouldn't put it that high if they didn't think there was a genuine shot. I mean, Bain, Banchero, Franz Wagner. I still don't like the Franz Wagner Paolo Banchero fit, but they're still two elite players. And then you have Jalen Suggs coming back, Wendell Carter Jr. Give me the Magic to win the East B. Why not? The Sixers, I think they go 3-1. I think it'll be early enough into the season where Joel Embiid will play a few games, maybe here or there. Maybe he clutches up for a couple, but I saw the Joel Embiid article earlier, and man, this guy's really stuck in Philly. This guy's and this guy is so injury prone. This is one of the greatest what ifs. He won an MVP, but he's still a what if because he's such an elite big man offensively that if he's healthy for one full year for the Sixers, the Philadelphia 76ers are title contenders if he's fully healthy. I mean, hear this team out. I know washed Paul George. I know he's washed, but he could come back. He could win most improved player. Like that wouldn't be crazy to me. Tyrese Maxey, Quentin Grimes, of course, Joel Embiid. There's another Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain. I've said one of those names twice, but still, that's about 4 or 5 elite guys. The only thing I worry about is if Embiid's not playing, who's going to be in that front court? Like Yabusele left. Is it going to be Adam Bona and Andre Drummond? Not really in love with that, but they get second in the East B. Pistons, I have a 2-2. Same with the Celtics. Both very different stories. Pistons, very young team, up and coming, had that amazing run last year where they went from about the worst team in the league, 15 wins, to 45 or 41. I can't remember the exact number. And of course, they got first rounded, but Pistons are on the up and up. Cade Cunningham becoming an actual superstar. Shout out to him. The Celtics, I have a 2-2. I really don't know how this team's going to play with Jaylen Brown as the number one. I trust Jaylen Brown as the number one, but getting rid of Kristaps, their front court is Neemias Queta and Xavier Tillman Sr. That might be the worst front court in the NBA. And I don't think that's an understatement. But they do have an elite backcourt. They have Peyton Pritchard, they have Derek White, they have Anthony Simons. So I mean, this is kind of like a retool, rebuild year while Tatum's out, and then next year you come back full strength, make a couple moves. I mean, you have depth guys like Georges Niang as well. I just don't know how I feel about the Celtics. Nets, Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas are going to get 0 assists combined, and they're going to get 0 wins combined here. EC, I don't know why. Give me Josh Giddey, give me Kobe White, give me Nikola Vucevic, give me Matas Buzelis to have a crazy comeback year. Give me the Chicago Bulls to win the EC over the New York Knicks. The Bulls beat the Knicks in this scenario. And I don't know. I just feel like the Bulls are on the up and up. They finally have a youth movement led by Josh Giddey. Buzelis has been looking strong. Gone are the days of sixth man of the year in college, Patrick Williams being drafted number 4 overall. I mean, he's still on the team, but he's probably cooked. I like the Bulls. The Bulls are a fun team, and seeing them win this, it'll be the start of something big for them. So shout out them. Knicks, I have it too. I don't know how I feel about Mike Brown. I know Mike Brown's a good head coach, coached LeBron in his early heyday, but I I think it's a good fit for New York. I don't know why. I mean, I know why they fired Thibodeau because they wanted him to make the finals against that Pacers team, but still a conference finals run. I don't really get it. Like I know why they did it, but I don't understand it. But I still think the Knicks are a really good team. Probably have the best starting five in all of basketball. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Carl Anthony Towns, and now they added depth. It's a scary team over there. It's a really scary team. But in the NBA Cup, they're not going to win the division. Hornets, I have it 2-2. I still think the Hornets are a bad team, but this will be a positive momentum to get the ball rolling. A couple of wins. Heat 1-3. Just acquired Norman Powell. Shout out Norman Powell. Um, Actually, I don't really like Norman Powell, so we're gonna unshout out Norman Powell right there. But they got Tyler Hero, they got Bam Adebayo, they got a mini big three over there, and they'll be solid enough, but not here. And the Bucks, they'll get one win from some Giannis mayhem, but their depth is horrendous. Their third best player is Kyle Kuzma. They're not gonna go far. But yeah, that's the NBA Cup standings. The results from the West: the Grizzlies, Thunder, Nuggets, Suns. From the East: Raptors, Pacers, Magic, Bulls. From the West, I got the Nuggets beating the Thunder, which as a Thunder fan may be surprising, but I don't know. I have a feeling the Nuggets with their improved depth, at least this time around, they'll beat the Thunder. And I got the Grizzlies beating the Suns. Suns good enough to make a wild card run, but not good enough to beat the Grizzlies. And I got the Nuggets beating the Grizzlies to go to the championship. In the East, I got the Magic beating the Pacers. I feel like that one's an obvious one. Pacers championship experience, playoff experience, but you don't have your two best players, or sorry, two out of your three. Pascal Siakam was your second best player probably in that playoff run, and then you lost Miles Turner. And I got the Raptors beating the Bulls once again, kind of like the Suns, had a good run, but Raptors are the Raptors. Shout out them. And then I got the Raptors beating the Magic. And then the 4-0 Raptors versus the 3-1 Nuggets in the NBA Cup Emirates Championship. Giving the Nuggets, man. I feel like this would be a good win for them. Keep the positive momentum rolling. Cam Johnson proves he's a better player than Michael Porter Jr. is currently. And I don't know if they'd celebrate the NBA Cup in like Serbia with Nikola Jokic and his horses, or they go to Canada with Jamal Murray. I don't know. But shout out to them. They earned some money. Now I got the Eastern Conference standings. At number 15, I got the Brooklyn Nets. Their Vegas line's 21.5, but this team's just it's not good. They drafted 5 guards. Um, They're probably gonna sell like crazy at the deadline. Michael Porter Jr. might be gone, or they just hold on to that contract. Cam Thomas can't lead a number one team. They're just not gonna be good. Their rookies are probably gonna develop though. Probably their best rookie out of, I mean, my favorite rookie would probably be Nolan Traore, the Frenchman, the guard. Hopefully he's not like another French guy like Killian Hayes. I believe he played for the Nets last year. Um, for a couple games. But shout out Nolan Traore. Hope he does good. Rest of them I'm not sure about. I'm probably least confident in Drake Powell, but they could prove me wrong. Who knows? Nets, I got them 1963, just under their Vegas line of 21 and a half. 14, I got the Charlotte Hornets, 25 and 57. Um, Con Kneppel, I don't really think he has superstar potential. I think he has star potential. I think he could be like, if I were putting like an NBA 2K rating, I put him at like an 84, 85 at his peak. Like maybe like a one-time All-Star, but I just don't see the Con Kneppel hype. They already got a lot of forwards over there with Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller. LaMelo Ball, if he's fully healthy for a year, I could definitely see them climbing to 35 wins. The problem with the East is like it's such a crapshoot because the East is so weak right now that a team like the Hornets could get 35 wins and sneak into the 9 seed, and I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't know what their front court. Their front court's pretty washed. They got Yusuf Nurkic. They traded away Mark Williams and Ryan Kalkbrenner. He's gonna be good, but he's still a rookie. He's still probably gonna be the backup for most of the year. So I don't. I don't really like their team. Um, and their line's 25 and a half. I have a half a game under that. So I don't know. It's basically a pick 'em. Number 13, I got the Washington Wizards, 26 and 56. They make a little bit of an improvement. Their line's 21 and a half. I got them a little bit over that. They make a little bit of an improvement from last year. The Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole days are gone. Now are the CJ McCollum, Alex Sarr, Bilal Coulibaly, Marcus Smart, Chris Middleton days. I mean, this team could be solid. They got a few vets like Middleton. He could bounce back. He could be pretty good. Marcus Smart's always an elite defender. CJ McCollum is a scorer to pair alongside Trey Johnson, teach him the ropes, the Texas guy. But still, it's just not a great team. If your best player is CJ McCollum, you're not making the play-in. I might eat my words on that, but you're not making the play-in if your best player is CJ. So give me them at 13. Number 12, I got the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are a fun team, but they're not a good team. They have Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic. They're probably, I feel like I've said this the past 3 years, but they're probably going to sell Vucevic at the deadline, right? I mean, they should to a team like maybe like a Golden State if they don't pick up Al Horford or like a LA Lakers, they'll somehow manage to do it for 2 boxes of scraps and like a Dalton Connect. I don't know, but the Bulls aren't a great team. Noah Seng, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he's probably gonna be out of the league after that crazy dunk that Johnny Furphy hit on him. He posterized, he killed his career, and that's not even cap. He killed his career right there. But give me the Bulls at 12. Their Vegas line's 32 and a half, so basically a pick 'em over under. I have him a little bit under half a game. Number 11, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. I think this might be the first real surprise here. The Milwaukee Bucks, I just hate them as a team. I think they're an awful team. Other than Giannis, their lineup is what? Kyle Kuzma, Miles Turner solid, but he's not an amazing number two option or an amazing big that I would like to see. Got like AJ Green. They traded Pat Connaughton for Fazio Misic, but Misic is going back to Europe, I'm pretty sure. Ryan Rollins, Torian Prince. It's just not a great team. Their depth is not great. The only way I could see them getting above 40 wins is if Giannis has an MVP level year. He leads them to a top 4 seed and he wins the MVP with that team. That's the only way I can see it. Other than that, I think they barely miss out or they make the play in and they lose in like either the first round after making it out of the play in or they lose in the first game of the play in. Not really high on the Bucks. Number 10, I have the Pacers. Pascal Siakam and co. I think I had it Bucks, Pacers, Pacers, Bucks. I was in between them, but I just feel like the Pacers have a better team overall, which will help lead them to more wins. They got Jay Huff, who is 60% of Miles Turner. They got Andrew Nemhard, TJ McConnell. I've been saying this. Don't be surprised if TJ McConnell becomes a 20 point per game scorer. Don't be surprised because the Pacers need a guy that'll handle the scoring output. I see Andrew Nemhard taking over the passing role more so of Tyrese Halliburton. You know, Tyrese Halliburton, great playmaker, good at getting assists. See more Nemhard assists, but TJ McConnell, he'll suck up that scoring output. He'll put up 15, 20 a night. And I don't think that's crazy, but Pascal Siakam, he has playoff experience. He has regular season experience throughout his tenuous life. And I think he can lead the Pacers to at least a 10 seed. Or if they miss it, I mean, they have their pick this year, so maybe their pick jumps up in the lotto. But I'm not confident on this Pacers team winning anything, but their line's 39.5. I have it a little bit under that. Give me the Pacers at 10. At 9, I have the Toronto Raptors. Their line's 35.5, which is, I think, a little bit low. I think they have one of the better starting fives in the league. Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, the newly extended Jakob Pertl. Shout out to him. That's a pretty good starting five, but then you start looking at the bench. I mean, Grady Dick is the best guy off their bench. They still got Agbaji. Um, I don't think they have Chris Boucher anymore. I don't even know who their backup big man is. Colin Castleton, I'm pretty sure they have. But I just don't like their depth. I think they're a really good team. I think Darko's a solid head coach. He'll get them over that 35.5 line, but I don't see them making the actual playoff. They'll probably be the 9 seed in the play-in. Give me the Raptors at 9. Celtics at 8. I don't know if Tatum's coming back for the play. Tatum's done for the year, but I don't know when, if he would come back for the playoff. Maybe like the second round. But even then, he'd probably be super limited. I just don't trust that front court. I think teams are going to dominate inside. The Celtics are going to have to rely on their shooting performance every night. And then, this team, I just think they lose a little bit more than they win in the 3-point battle and 40 and 42. I think that seems like a fair record for them. Jaylen Brown probably will have an all-star year. Probably be looked at a little bit more favorably trying to carry this team, but I don't know. I don't trust them. Lions 43.5, a little bit under. Celtics at 8. I have the Miami Heat at 7. I think the Miami Heat have a sneaky good team. Like a sneaky good, like you wouldn't think, like you would think before the season they're a 31 team, but like you look at their team and like this is 40 plus, maybe even 50 wins. No, that's too high for them. But who knows? It's such a weak East. They got Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Norman Powell. I think Norman Powell's probably due for a regression year. I think the Clippers did the smart thing, trading him at the peak of his years for a power forward, John Collins, one that they desperately needed. Who got killed by Anthony Edwards by a poster a couple years back. But I think the Heat with those three, and then you have Kalel Ware, you have Andrew Wiggins as well. Shout out Andrew Wiggins. You have Davion Mitchell, who had a great play and run. This is setting up to be a solid team. I could even see them going to 50 wins. Like I was ironically saying that, but unironically, I'm convincing myself they could go to 50 wins. But I have the Heat at 7. 6, I have the 76ers. I had them a little bit higher, and I saw the Embiid thing, and I was like, huh, how's Embiid progressing with his injury? And he isn't. But I still think, even though I dogged on the Celtics for their front court, the Sixers are a bit better of a team right now than the Celtics because they have Tyrese Maxey, they have Quentin Grimes, they have Jared McCain, they have Paul George. If Paul George can bounce back, if Joel Embiid can play 30 games, if Tyrese Maxey is still an elite scorer, same with Jared McCain, same with Quinn Grimes, Andre Drummond can be serviceable. This is a top 6 team, and they go over the 43.5 line. If that can all happen. But if Joel Embiid, if he's out the whole year, I could see them missing the playoff again. Thunder potentially getting another lotto pick. Man, that would be a world, huh? I might be a little bit greedy for thinking that, but I got the Sixers at 6. Just hoping Joel Embiid's healthy, man. That's all. Number 5, I had the Orlando Magic. I mentioned the line's 51.5. I think that's way too high. Or a little bit too high. Maybe not way too high, a little bit too high. I I don't know. The Magic still were so offensively flawed last year, and they got rid of Kentavious Caldwell Pope, who was a shooter. They got rid of Cole Anthony, who's now in the buyout market. I mean, they were starting Corey Joseph last year, man. Like, I know Jalen Suggs was out, but Corey Joseph, I think they'll definitely improve. Jalen Suggs is a shooter. Desmond Bain, shooter. Paolo and Franz. Franz still has a weird hitch in his shot. I don't know if he's ever going to fix that. Got Wendell Carter Jr. This is a good team, and they're led by a good coach, Jamal Mosley. But 51.5 seems a little bit too ambitious. Maybe next year I could see it. This year, not so much. Number 5, I have the Pistons. Number 5. Number 4, I have the Pistons. 45.5 is their line. I think Cade and them, they take another leap forward. They take advantage of a weak Eastern Conference and they jump up to that 4 seed. You're going to get Jaden Ivey back for the majority of this year. Tobias Harris has proven to be a solid vet. You got Duncan Robinson to replace Malik Gambling Beasley. You have Asar Thompson who looks like he's developing, and if he can be as good as his brother is projected to be this year, that's a monster team. And you got Jalen Duren, you got Isaiah Stewart, Marcus Sasser, the backup guard. This is a tough team. And the Pistons at the 4 seed, I don't even think it's that crazy. They could get 55 plus wins, which is crazy to say for the Pistons because the last Pistons team I knew that was solid was the Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond days, the greatest front court of all time back in those days. But yeah, give me the Pistons at 4. Let me see Cade. Maybe he makes an all-star starting team. Who knows? Number 3, I got the New York Knicks. Most people have them at 1 or 2. I got them at 3. Mike Brown, good coach. I don't know how, at least in the regular season, the Knicks will fare from the different coaching style because Tibbs is not going to be, back in the day, Tibbs was running 40, 44 plus minutes for all those guys, tiring them out. And then when it comes to playoffs, they're already tired out. Mike Brown's going to be different than that. Probably leads to a little bit less regular season success, but I think it leads to better results in the playoffs. So shout out Mike Brown. Number 2, I have the Hawks. This might be crazy, but I think the Atlanta Hawks are a very, very sleeper finals team. Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Zacchaire Rizache, Clint Capella, who is on the Rockets now. I can't believe I said Clint Capella. Kristaps Porzingis is who I meant to say. Onyeka Okongwu. This is a nasty team. And you have a coach with proven experience, Quinn Snyder, who's been coaching the past couple years in Atlanta. Trae's been getting to know the system, and Trae Young could average 15 plus assists per game this year. And that's not even crazy to say. This guy was getting 10, 11 plus assists to wash Clint Capella and whoever else was on the Hawks. Now you add Kristaps, a guy who can shoot from anywhere on the court and can tower over anyone. You add Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a 3-and-D wing. You add a full season of Jalen Johnson. That's a scary team. Give me the Hawks at 2. And number 1 is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Their line's 55.5. I had them at 55. I looked at these lines after, and I was like, man, a lot of these are like spot on. Like, look at the next one. Like, I have it 52. They got a 52.5. But the Cavs, 55-27. I think that's reasonable. I still think the Cavs are the best team in the East. They're the number 1 team in the East. They're the best regular season team in the East by far. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Max Strus, DeAndre Hunter. You know the deal. They're trying to win the chip this year. They're in the second Abram bad. Dan Gilbert's overpaying. Can they win it all this year? I don't know, but they have the best shot in the East probably to do it. Can Donovan Mitchell get past the second round? I don't know. We'll find out this year, but I got the Cavs at 1. In the West, the Utah Jazz, I have a 15. 21-61. Their line is 18.5. The Jazz are not a good team, man. They're not. I think they'll just get over 18.5 just because, they have Lauri Markkanen and maybe Ace Bailey pops off when some teams rest their guys at the end of the year, but seems not good. They just traded away John Collins as well. So it's Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen who's getting paid $50 million a year, which is a crazy contract. Keontae George, Ace Bailey, who just looked iffy in the summer league. And again, summer league doesn't define a player, but maybe it could be a sign of something to come. I got nothing to talk about with the Jazz, man. Let's move on. Number 14, I got the New Orleans Pelicans. Their line's 31.5. I got it at 28 and 54. Zion's the same thing as Joel Embiid. I don't know if he's going to play 60 games. He's not going to play 60 games, or if he's going to play 20, right? I like their draft pick this year, Jeremiah Fears. I think he can learn behind Jordan Poole. Learn to develop his shooting more, be a better playmaker. The guard out of Oklahoma. Shout out Jeremiah Fears. They also got Derek Queen, which I really didn't like that trade that they made. They traded their unprotected next year, and I think they're going to be really bad. That could be the number one pick they just traded for Derek Queen. And they got Zion, they got Herb Jones, they got Trey Murphy. They got a lot of great guys, but not excellent elite guys. And that doesn't lead to success. So give me the Pelicans at 14. If Zion's a little bit healthier, I could see them maybe sneaking into the 10 seed. But this West is so tough already, and their team's already so eh. And Jordan Poole's going to be taking 25 shots and making 7 of them. Give me the Pelicans at 14. 13, I got the Sacramento Kings. I got them at 30 and 52. Their line's 37.5. This team on paper is supposed to be good. But in reality, they're the Chicago Bulls. On paper, this team is Keon Ellis, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Keegan Murray, DeMontis Sabonis, and they just picked up Nick Clifford from the draft. And I guess Dario Saric. Shout out him. I'm pretty sure he got traded for Valanciunas. If not, you can let me know who we got traded for. I mean, in one team. I'll probably just look after this. But the Kings, on paper, they're supposed to be good, but in reality, they're the Bulls. They're the 2023 Bulls. And that team was not good. I mean, they were like near playing range, but not a contending team. And the West is already so tough this year. I think the Kings are just about to sell it all. They're about to just give up. I mean, they already traded for a first to get a young guy. At least they can bring to the team like a Nick Clifford, Colorado State guard. They need to blow it up, man. They just need to give it up. I got the Kings at 13. Phoenix Suns, I have at 12. Their line's 31.5. I have them a little bit over the 32 and 50. Devin Booker can lead this team to 32 wins. And I mean, this team's not bad. I know I have them at 32 and 50, but this team's not terrible. Devin Booker, Jalen Green, they traded for Mark Williams. That's a solid 3. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not fawning over it. I'm not saying this team's going to be in the play-in. I don't think they're going to even be close to the play-in. But it's not a bad team. Like, if this team went into the play-in, I would be like, okay, that's a little bit crazy. Who was bad in the West that I thought was going to be decent? But I wouldn't be terribly surprised at it. Devin Booker needs to get out of Phoenix, man. I know he's the heart of the city. I know he probably doesn't want to leave, but he needs to get out. Matt Ishbia tried and he failed. You just got to blow it up. You got to trade Devin Booker for like 5 firsts. Restart it. Mark Williams is a good young piece to build around. Jalen Green's a good young piece. You got a guy like Ryan Dunn. You got Malawach as well. Malawach, that front court's not bad either. But if you just build off those pieces and you trade Devin Booker, I think you'll be good in about another 5 years. But you're not going to be good now, especially with the Thunder, with the Rockets, teams like this. You need to blow it up. Got the Suns at 12. 11, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. Look, I know I had the Grizzlies undefeated in the NBA Cup. But in terms of a whole regular season, they just traded away Desmond Bane. They let Cole Anthony go on the buyer's market. They've been an injury mess for the past 2 years. Ja Morant he's injury prone now. Ja Morant is officially injury prone. The only player I trust on this team is Jaren Jackson Jr. Zach Edey, I'm pretty sure, was driving with Shedeur Sanders and got into like a high-speed ticket. And he had surgery. No, I trust another player. I trust Jalen Wells too. He was pretty good. Should have won the Rookie of the Year potentially. Maybe. I don't know. But I have the Grizzlies at 11. Brand new coach. They've had tons of injury concerns. They just got swept by the Thunder last year as the 8th seed. Lost a key player. I don't see them doing much. It might be time to trade Ja. Might be time to trade Triple J. Reset that team. Line's 40.5. I got them under that. Grizzlies at 11. Now we get to the play-in range. Number 10, I have the Portland Trailblazers. Shout out Portland. Their line's 33.5, which feels really, really low. But the Portland Trailblazers, as I was saying, if Drew Holiday's there, he's going to be great defensively. They got a guy like Denny Avdia. They got Rob Williams. They lost DeAndre Ayton to the Lakers, but he doesn't really give much effort anyway. They got Tumani Kamara. They got Shaden Sharp. This is a solid young team. And they got the next Jokic. They got Hansen Yang, the Chinese prospect. who's looked pretty good in the summer league. Shout out Hansen Yang. But I think this Blazers team is about the 10 seed. I think their ceiling's about the 7 or 8 seed, but I have them a little bit lower because the West is just so stacked. Give me the Blazers at 10. 9, I have the Clippers. Now, I know a lot of people are probably yelling at me here because the Clippers are low. Their line's only 46.5, but even I was looking at this and it feels a little bit low, but I don't know. This team's just the unction, man. I feel like this Kawhi Leonard's probably not going to play a lot of the first half of the year. So James Harden and Bradley Beal are going to have to carry offensively. And I mean, they can do that. They've done that last year, but can they do that again? I don't know. I just feel like this team's going to slowly wear down and they'll slowly lose more and more. Like they'll start off the year strong. Don't get me wrong. Like this is probably a great first half team in terms of like the first couple weeks. But then they just slow down probably over and over and over. And then they probably drag along to the 9 seed at the end of the year. Especially in the loaded West. I mean, this is one of the teams that is in the quote unquote loaded West. This team could be the 5 seed or they could be the 12 seed. One or the other. Or they could be in the middle in the 9 where I put them. Shout out the 9 seed. 8, I have the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know how I feel about Dallas. First half of the year, I think they're going to be pretty mid. Anthony Davis is going to have to stay healthy for this prediction to happen. And I think it will. I think Anthony Davis is probably getting a little bit better with his injuries and managing them. But if Anthony Davis is out, and you're telling me Cooper Flag and D'Angelo Russell are going to have to carry this team to the All-Star break, this team's not making the play. It's that simple. I see people predicting the Mavericks maybe are winning the championship. NBA 2K. Every time I sim on NBA 2K in the playoffs, it's always the Dallas Mavericks win the chip, and then Cooper Flag suddenly is an amazing elite superstar GOAT in the rookie year. Like that's not gonna happen. I still think, spoiler, he's probably gonna win Rookie of the Year, but I don't think he's able to lead a team by himself year one already, unless he's LeBron James. But he's gonna be an elite defensive player, an elite defensive rookie. Offensively, questions with his jump shot. I know that second game in the summer league before he got shut down, he looked a lot better shooting, but to lead a team in the NBA is a lot different than to lead a team in the summer league. But second half of the year, I think when Kyrie comes back, they'll probably limit him a little bit. Assuming AD's healthy, assuming PJ Washington's good, Derek Lively gets a little bit back to form, D'Lo isn't shooting bricks everywhere. Klay Thompson, shout out Klay Thompson, man. If you know, you know. He has a good shooting night. Mavericks can be an 8 seed. I don't think they'll make the playoffs outright, but they got potential. Line's 39.5. I think they go way over that, but yeah, I got them at the 8 seed. 7, I got the Warriors. The Warriors are the one team out from the top 6. I think this team's just getting really old. Curry is like 37, 38. Same with Jimmy. Same with Draymond. They're losing Kuminga to free agency because they're not going to bring him back. Your fourth best player is Pods. You don't really have big men. You have Moses Moody. I think Jimmy and Steph can do enough to carry them to a 7 seed. A little bit under that 47.5 line, but after that, I'm not really too confident. I'm confident in playoff Jimmy and playoff Steph, but in the regular season, I just don't see them getting that top 6 seed. So give me the Warriors at 7. 6, I have the LA Lakers. The Lakers, I believe, ended around 50 wins last year, and I know they added DeAndre Ayton, but I think more teams are going to try to expose their defensive flaws. I don't think DeAndre Ayton's a good get, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's going to improve this team a lot. I just worry about his lack of effort on the court and off the court as well. Luka Doncic is going to be the main guy carrying this team. I think LeBron, as he gets older, he's going to regress a little bit more. We already kind of saw that last year. I know he's all NBA second team. Shout out to him, but I don't know. He's not as confident driving, I don't feel. But he's still LeBron James, and LeBron's LeBron. He's going to be there. He's probably going to take more injury rest days, more injury management. And they probably lose a couple more games, because the West they're just improving. They're just getting better. But yeah, give me the Lakers at 6. Still make the playoffs, but just barely. One game over the Warriors. Number 5, I had the San Antonio Spurs. And This has to be the year where the Spurs make the big jump. De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Hoppe, Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sohan, and Victor Wembanyama. And Luke Cornett, shout out 40 mil, 4 years, big contract, former Boston guy, shout out him. This team's just set up to be great. Victor Wembanyama's great. De'Aaron Fox is good. Um, had a bit of a down year from last year, but he'll bounce back. And they had the number 2 pick, and Carter Bryant. This team is about 10 personnel deep. And depth is the biggest thing in the NBA right now. And they have depth and they have superstars. So don't be surprised if this is even a 50-plus win team. I got them at 48 wins. Mitch Johnson, associate head coach. He'll cook up something. Give me the Spurs at 5. Denver, I have at 4. A lot of people might have Denver 2 or 3. But I have them at 4, just under that 53.5 Vegas line. And that's what I was saying. Like, a lot of these lines, like, I'm like half a game over or under. And I didn't even check beforehand. Like, that's crazy. Like, were these AI generated just for me? I don't know. But I have them a little bit under. Nikola Jokic is great. Cam Johnson is amazing. Jamal Murray is amazing. This is a great team. Definitively, this could be in a 60-win team. It's just, I don't know. You know, rookie head coach, I know what he did. I'm forgetting David Adelman. I know he took us to 7, us being the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I think over a full year, people will figure out his coaching schemes a little bit more. Maybe it takes a little bit of a hit, but Jokic is Jokic. They're going to get 50-plus wins every year, no matter what, probably. And they've rebuilt their depth. Tim Hardaway Jr., Jonas Valanciunas. They got rid of Westbrook, which some fans might view that as a positive. I'm still a Westbrook supporter, Thunder fan. Shout out Westbrook. But yeah, I got them at this 4 seed. Number 3, I got the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think Anthony Edwards makes that top 3 MVP jump. I think Anthony Edwards, he developed the 3-point game last year. He's one scary man. And Julius Randle, I'm a lot more confident in Julius Randle now. Going into the playoffs last year, I thought, man, Julius Randle's going to be horrendous. He's going to be awful. He's going to be a playoff dropper. But he was good. He was the main scorer, basically, on the Minnesota team when it wasn't Ant. And they got Rudy Gobert. They got Naz Reid locked up on a contract. They got KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels. The only thing I would like to see them do is get a better point guard. Mike Conley's getting a little bit older. Rob Dillingham, I don't know where he's at in his development process. But the Timberwolves are a scary team. Shout out to Ant-Man. Give me the Wolves at 3. They did lose to Nikhil Alexander-Walker, but I think they'll be fine from that. Number 2, I have the Houston Rockets. Line's 54.5. I have it half a game over. The Houston Rockets, Amen Thompson's going to be tough. Kevin Durant, already elite, superstar. If Alperen Şengün can get a little bit better around the rim, this is a monster team. That could even overtake OKC. I think the Rockets, the Nuggets, and the Wolves, no way the other 3 teams have a chance to beat the number 1 team. Maybe not beat them in the playoff, but overtake them in the standings. I think those 3 teams have a really good shot. I think Kevin Durant's going to be amazing for this team. A true number 1 scorer, which is what they've desperately been needing. They can run that double big lineup with Şengün and Steven Adams, recently extended. Hopefully Fred VanVleet can shoot a little bit better. I mean, he was our most consistent shooter in the playoffs, but the regular season he was not so good. No Jalen Green, no Dylan Brooks, which might affect them defensively, but they'll be fine. They got dogs. Maybe it's a Reed Shepherd coming out party. He's probably going to get some PT behind Fred VanVleet. We'll see how he does. Maybe he was worthy of the top 3 pick. Shout out Reed Shepherd. I got the Rockets at 2, and you already know who I have at 1. My Oklahoma City Thunder. We already knew they were going to be number 1. The repeating champs, 68-14 to 58-24. Teams are going to figure out a little bit more of this Thunder team, which is why I have them a little bit lower and under that 62.5 line, but you can't bet against the finals champs being somewhere other than number 1. And my favorite team, might as well just throw them up there. SGA, gonna have another elite year. Jalen Williams, we all saw 40-point night with the broken wrist. He had surgery on it right after, or the hand, I can't remember, but we didn't hear him complain about it. Chet Holmgren's just going to be taking more and more steps to further develop. Same exact team, and you're getting Nikola Topic, a top 10 pick, and you're getting Thomas Sorbear, a top 15 pick, and you have Brooks Barnheiser balling out in the Summer League, our second round pick from Northwestern. Shout out Brooks Barnheiser. But yeah, I got the Thunder at 1. All Stars. Okay, I'll read these out first. All Stars in the East, the starters I have Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Paolo Banchero, and Cat. No, I'm gonna go over two formats. I'm gonna go over who should be recognized or who I think will be recognized as the starters. But as you know, 2026, new format. It's gonna be USA versus World, and that's gonna be exciting. I don't know if he'll have as much passion as Adam Silver wants it to have, like the 4 seasons in the NHL. Like, I'm not a too big hockey fan, but I was tuned into that. I was like, USA, USA. USA versus World. I don't know if it brings the same hype. I think you need more teams because right now it's just everyone against us. But if you have like USA versus Canada versus Greece, maybe versus like Asia, or you could have continents. You could do like North America versus South America versus Europe versus Asia. That would go crazy. But I don't know how the All Stars are going to be recognized. Like, are you going to have a guy like I'll give sway to one of my picks, like Dyson Daniels. He's not going to be an All Star, but are you going to recognize him as an All Star because he's going to be on that World team, or is he not going to be recognized? So I think what they should do is they should make a list of 12 guys, East and West, and then they should separate from that, like not have two games. So like have one vote for the All Stars, and then they should have another vote for who gets represented on the World versus USA teams. I think that'd be fair. I think that'd be reasonable, and they'll keep them honest. Anyways, the starters I think should be Brunson. Brunson's gonna get votes. I would probably put Trey, but I'm trying to be realistic here. The New York media and everyone, they're gonna vote Brunson. Mitchell, number one team in the East. Giannis is Giannis. Banchero? Banchero might be the surprise one here, but I think the East is really lacking in the front court. Of course, you can't put a guy like Tatum on here. I don't think Embiid's gonna be healthy enough. So put Paolo Banchero on that Magic. Shout out him. And I got Cat, offensively talented. Is it crazy to say I think Cat could be in the MVP talk if he develops more as a defender around the rim? I don't think that's crazy to say. For the reserves of Trae Young, these are in no order by the way. Trae Young from the Hawks, Evan Mobley, DPOY from last year, Cade Cunningham. You can make an argument for Cade over Brunson. I just don't think anybody will vote that. Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey. I think if the Sixers are a top 16, Tyrese Maxey definitely gets that. Jalen Johnson. I don't think Kristaps will qualify. I think Kristaps might be a little bit too injury prone. And I think the next best player is probably Jalen Johnson to put on there. And I think that the Hawks are really the 2 seed. He's going to be an all star. And then Franz Wagner, the other Magic player. I got him in there. So, a mix, a nice healthy mix. In the West, the starters I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Victor Wembanyama, and Nikola Jokic. Wemby was close to overtaking LeBron last year, and I think if LeBron falls off, like, not crazy, if he just like regresses a little bit more and Wemby improves, I know LeBron has the fan vote, but I think the media and the player vote might do him in. I think Wemby will get there. If Kevin Durant's the number 2 in the West, he definitely gets there. Luka's 100% getting there. Same with SGA and Jokic. I think LeBron gets left out, but he doesn't get left out of here. Anthony Edwards is also an argument as well. I just think for fan vote, this is going to sound weird. I think Anthony Edwards is a top 3 MVP candidate, but he doesn't get in an all-star starter. I just think Luka has too much notoriety overseas. He's going to get the fan vote. And I think SGA, former MVP, is definitely going to get that vote in. And then that's the backcourt spots. But I got LeBron, I got Curry. They kind of voted in Curry last year. I know he had a good second half of the year, but the first half was kind of for him, and it was in San Francisco. Anthony Davis, I got James Harden, I got Alperen Sengun, and I got Jalen Williams again. See, people were saying Jalen Williams is undeserving. He's about to go back-to-back All-Star games. Shout out J Dub. Shout out the man. I could have even put Chet in here, but I think J Dub's probably going to be more recognized for his scoring capability. And I don't know how Chet's going to develop, but yeah, give me J Dub. USA versus World. If well, I know it is going to be USA versus World. I think what will happen is the US will have a bunch of unction guys, and the World will just have the World team. I'm gonna have Steph Curry at the 1, Ant Man at the 2, LeBron at the 3, KD at the 4, and AD at the 5. Originally, I had Cat, but he plays for the Dominican Republic. And I probably should have put Cat over here. I'm just realizing that now live as I record, but we're live. So why not? Jalen Brunson I have as the backup 1, Mitchell is the backup 2, JB is the 3, Banchero is the 4, Mobley is the 5, and then I have Cade and J-Dub. I think that's a really good team. I think if you're doing 1 year of USA World, you got the unction here, and the young superstar Nate Edwards, who's been developing like crazy. This is a fun team. But then you go to the World, and you're like, there's no way the US wins. Listen to this team. Luka Doncic, SGA, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Victor Wembanyama, and Nikola Jokic. That's the scariest starting 5 I've seen in my life. 3 of these guys are 6'11 and taller. Wemby and Jokic are 7 foot plus each. Luka's one of the greatest scorers. SGA is one of the greatest scorers. And Luka, amazing playmaker. And then off the bench, you have Jamal Murray, the Murray Jokic connection. Dyson Daniels, an elite perimeter defender. Franz Wagner, hitching a shot. Pascal Siakam, Domantas Sabonis. You could probably replace Sabonis with Cat, which will make it even scarier. And then you also get the OG Cat connection as well. And then Şengün. Personally, if this were to happen in real life, I think Team World kills Team USA. But the question is, do they have the effort? If Team World shows effort, they win by 30 plus. And that's not crazy to say. Maybe not 30 plus, 20 plus. But if they don't, I think Team USA can sneak by a 5-10 point win. But in terms of raw talent, I'm taking Team World. The Team World bench might have a minus 15 plus minus, but the Team World starters will have like a plus 20. Like this team is that good. And it's that scary. NBA awards. MVP awards. Number 1 in voting, I have SGA going back to back. Number 2, I have Jokic. And number 3, I have Ant Edwards. I told you. Rookie of the Year, number 1, I have Cooper Flag. Number 2, I have VJ Edgecombe. And number 3, I have Trey Johnson. DPOY, number 1, Wemby. Number 2, Mobley. Number 3, Dyson Daniels. Most improved, number 1, Amen Thompson. Number 2, Scoot. Number 3, Davion Mitchell. 6 Man of the Year, number 1, I got Hunter. 2, Aaron Wiggins. 3, Jared McCain. And Coach of the Year, 1, I got Quinn Snyder. 2, I got Chris Finch. 3, I got Mitch Johnson. I'll recap these really quick. SGA, I think he's set up for a perfect back-to-back year. If he's the number 1 team in the West again, and the Thunder number 1, and the Nuggets are 4, Jokic could have a great year, but I think the voters might be still fatigued from Jokic. I think it's SGA. And I think Ant as the number 3 seed, and if he improves, like I think he does, I don't think that's a crazy take. You could also put Luka here. I wouldn't mind Luka at all here. But yeah, I think it's Ant. Or you could even put Wemby. Wemby's not even that crazy at this point. Rookie of the Year, I think it's Cooper Flag. He's going to show his defensive prowess and offensive capabilities. Dylan Harper, I don't have on here. I just don't think. I think that weird trio of Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox is going to get in the way of him really proving anything in the Rookie of the Year race stat wise. So I don't think he's on here. VJ Edgecombe, I have it too. I think he'll start off the bench, and then he'll slowly get more and more minutes, and then he'll become a monster. He reminds me so much of Jimmy Butler. Like, just in terms of personality, a little bit of play style as well. I think he's going to be sneaky number 2. And number 3, I got Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson on the Wizards is going to have a ton of opportunities to shoot the ball, especially with Jordan Poole out. He's going to be learning from CJ McCollum. I think he has a tough year. Like, not like tough, but like a tough year. So give me Trey Johnson at 3. DPOY, we all know Wemby's probably going to win it. Mobley at 2, former winner. You could put Chet Holmgren here, but I didn't want to put 3 big men, so I put Dyson Daniels. Most improved player, I think Amen's going to have an insane year. If he could develop shooting, league might be over. Scoot, I have at 2. I saw flashes of his 3-point ability at the later half of the year, but if he can do it consistently over a year on a Blazers team that's now going in the play-in, that'd be cool. And Davion Mitchell, amazing play-in run. If he can maintain that over a year as a nice backup guard, or maybe even gets to the starting point guard, move Tyler Hero to the 2, I think he gets number 3. Six man of the year. Hunter, I have a 1. On the number 1 team in the East, probably the best backup for them. Aaron Wiggins, I have it 2. I consider Caruso, but Caruso might be ineligible because I think he gets more starting spots than not. And Aaron Wiggins is the man who saved basketball. Number 3, I have Jared McCain. I just think the Sixers have such a. They kind of have the Spurs situation, but Jared McCain probably sits for more time on the bench, like at least as a six man, because he's coming back from an injury. You know, you don't want to rush him back. Sixers know all about injuries, but he's a scoring menace. He can score anywhere, anytime. Give me McCain at 3. And then coach of the year, number 1, Quinn Snyder. If the Hawks really go to a number 2 seed, Quinn Snyder's gonna win coach of the year. And Chris Finch, I have at 2 as well. Um, Chris Finch, he's a good head coach. If he leads them over the Nuggets as a 53 win team, he's number 2. And then Mitch Johnson going from 34 to 48 wins, you know, facing the adversity of Pop leaving, him having to take over at the later half of the year, and then with a full year, he gets 48 wins. He's number 3. I could also see Mike Brown, but I don't think they give it to the Knicks who got the 3 seed. I could also see maybe Daganol, but they got 10 wins below. Ime Udoka wouldn't be a bad shout. There's a lot of options, but I definitely think it's going to be Quinn Snyder. Playoffs, play-in round. I have the Mavs beating the Warriors. If Kyrie's healthy, that should be simple. I have the Clippers beating the Blazers. I don't think the Blazers are ready yet. I think they get into the play-in, but I don't think they're ready to beat a team like the Clippers. But I think the Warriors beat the Clippers. This is playoff Jimmy. If the Warriors had any other number 2 option, I'm taking the Clippers. But playoff Jimmy, I'm not glazing, but it's playoff Jimmy. So give me the Warriors. I have the Heat beating the Celtics, at least in the 7-8 matchup. Tatum's still out. I trust Wiggins, Hero, Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo more than I do Jaylen Brown and Derek White. I have the Raptors beating the Pacers. You know, the Raptors getting bittersweet revenge. I don't even think it's revenge on Pascal Siakam. But Pacers, they're just not going to be a good team. I'm going to be honest. They're not going to be a good team. So give me the Raptors. But I have the Celtics beating the Raptors, which this is solely because of Joe Mazzulla, and I don't think he's going to get eliminated in the play-in round. If he does, I won't be surprised because the Raptors have a better team, but the Celtics have a better coach, and I think Mazzulla can take advantage of that. Round 1. Bracket ends up like this. Thunder Warriors, Nuggets Spurs, Timberwolves Lakers, Rockets Mavericks. That's a fun one. And then Cavs Celtics, Sixers Pistons, Knicks Magic, Hawks Heat. Thunder win 4-1 against the Warriors. Warriors take a game because of like Steph and Jimmy, but I'm not as worried about the Thunder this year because the Thunder, championship experience under their belt. You know, I know Curry has a lot of that, but his team's not great around him, at least compared to the Thunder and SGA. Give me the Thunder 4-1. Nuggets take it 4-2. Spurs take a couple of games, but for the first playoff series for Wemby, a big part of what I value is experience in the playoffs. And Nikola Jokic has that. Wemby doesn't. It's that simple. Give me the Nuggets. Give me the Wolves to beat the Lakers again. And I think this sends LeBron into the free agency market or into the trade market. Getting first rounded again by the Wolves, that would suck. But the Wolves know how to beat this Lakers team. They've been to the conference finals twice. I don't see them getting first rounded. Rockets Mavericks, I have a 4-3. I think Kyrie and AD will try hard, but I just don't trust Cooper Flag as a rookie to be the third option for them consistently. I think Kevin Durant, with his experience, the Rockets already knowing the feeling of getting eliminated by a 7 seed last year, they clutch up in Game 7 and they win it. I have the Cavs beating the Celtics in 5. Tatum's not going to be back. Cavs are just the number 1 team in the East. Is that simple? I have the Pistons beating the Sixers. If Embiid is hurt and the Pistons are coming off a first round exit, I think Cade and them, they can get it to a Game 7 and Cade takes over. You know, Jalen Duren takes advantage of a weak front court. is GG's. Give me the Pistons upset. Give me the Knicks in 6 over the Magic. This is a really bad draw for the Magic because I wanted to take them to the conference finals, but I saw the way it all panned out. I was like, ooh, they're getting first rounded by the Knicks and Mike Brown. That's tough. But I wouldn't blow it up if I were the Magic after this. You just got a bad draw. Hawks Heat. Heat take 2 games. This is a rematch of the play-in last year. Amazing play-in game. Probably the highlight for the Hawks, even though they lost. That was their one play-in, playoff slash play-in moment. Hawks win it in 6. Hawks are still relatively young. Relatively new. Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Trae Young, probably a 3-year break from the playoffs beforehand. Not a lot of experience in the playoffs on this team, but they can get it done. Round 2. I have the Thunder beating the Nuggets in 6. We won in 7 last year, and I know the Nuggets got better, but our experience, and I feel like our team is so much better. We win it in 6. I have the Rockets in 7. Wolves don't make their 3rd straight conference finals. I think Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson, they overpower Ant in them. Rudy Gobert's somewhere on an island in a clip. Give me the Rockets. Here's the big one. I have the Pistons over the Cavs. I don't think Donovan Mitchell makes it past the 2nd round this year. I think the Pistons are so superstar charged with Cade, and they're such a cohesive unit, and I think they have great 3-point shooting ability with Duncan Robinson now on the team, replacing Malik Beasley. Jalen Duren developing. Asar Thompson, I think he develops into something really nice this year. I don't know. It's just the Cavs on paper, really good. I just don't see them getting it done. Give me the Pistons. And I got the Knicks in 6 over the Hawks. Hawks next year, they could definitely make a finals run. But I think this year with the Knicks, I know it's a new coach, but they got bounced last year in 6 in the conference finals. I think they're ready to make a run this year. And yeah, I got the Knicks in 6. Conference finals, Thunder Rockets, Pistons Knicks, 1-2-5-3. A little bit wacky. I have the Thunder in 6. I think the Thunder are really poised to go back to back. The Rockets, KD's getting a little bit older. I think we know how to handle the double big lineup a little bit better. We have the double big ourselves with Hardenstein and Chet. Sorbear as well off the bench if he develops sooner rather than later. We also have guys like Nikola Topic coming in. Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, already depth guys. The Rockets, I think we could take advantage of their depth more so than they can take advantage of ours. And yet, KD's going to have a homecoming date with the Thunder in the conference finals, but they're going to lose. Thunder in 6. I have the Knicks in 6 over the Pistons. This was the first round matchup last year, and the Knicks won in 5 or 6 again, I'm pretty sure. But I think in the conference finals, the Pistons are still a little bit of ways away from making a finals. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, though. But conference finals, I think, is good for them. Gives them a lot to work on for the year after. Make a couple of moves, make that finals push. But yeah, Thunder Knicks in the finals. Who do I got? The Oklahoma City Thunder.